Hey, we're going over this severe weather study guide today, and I'm just going to show you the questions and then we'll talk about the answers. So, with this first part, the main idea was thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, and blizzards are severe weather events related to low pressure systems. You were to watch the thunderstorm formation video in Apex and then complete this diagram. Ingredients for a thunderstorm. First of all, we need warm air. The second thing is we need lots of moisture. And the third thing, we need something to make the warm air rise quickly. And we studied when we were talking about fronts that a cold front moving in can shove the warm air up because of the difference in the densities and the fast moving nature of the cold front. Number 2 is circle the word that correctly completes the sentence. Warm air that rises quickly can form a violent rotating funnel of air called and that would be a tornado. And in Yadkin County, we have had tornadoes before. The last one was a pretty intense one that hit Courtney's school. Okay. Identify 2 places where tornadoes are common. And these are places in the United States where tornadoes are the most common. The central United States is called Tornado Alley. That's basically through the middle of the United States. What happens is you have lots of warm air and then the cold air, and with the increase in thunderstorms present, we have more chance of tornadoes developing. And the state that has the most tornadoes, I actually thought this was Texas because that's what it used to be until I looked it up to make sure, and that is Florida. And again, that is because of the tremendous amount of thunderstorms that they have. Okay, number 4, fill out the diagram to compare tornadoes and hurricanes. And I'm sure you did something similar to this in the 5th grade. Basically, we know that tornadoes are smaller than hurricanes. They require warm air that rises quickly. In other words, they typically stem from thunderstorms and they form over warm land. Hurricanes, on the other hand, are much larger. They require a lot of water and thermal energy. That's why they form over warm oceans. And they form over very warm ocean water. Well, there you go, see? The warmer the water, the more intense the hurricane becomes because they get their energy from the ocean water. And both are low pressure systems, and both have winds that spin around the center of the system. On to number 5. You will circle the 2 statements that describe the effects of a hurricane passing over land. And so basically, a hurricane reaches land, and the shore land experiences a storm surge and flooding, and the winds slow as the storm quickly loses strength. Those are the 2 correct ones. The incorrect one is coastal areas experience a period of drought. Number 6. 2 kinds of winter storms based on their descriptions. A storm that has high winds, heavy falling or blowing snow, and poor visibility is a blizzard. typically in Yadkin County, we do not have blizzards per se. Blizzards happen more in mountainous regions or in the western United States. Ice storms are storms with freezing rain that result in a layer of ice on exposed surfaces. We do have ice storms occasionally in North Carolina and Yadkin County. These ice storms, the ice will collect on the tree limbs, and the tree limbs become heavy, and we usually have a lot of power outages with ice storms. Okay, then we look at this. Heat waves and droughts are severe weather events related to high pressure systems. We're going to fill in this table to compare droughts and heat waves. A drought is a region that gets less precipitation than normal. And a heat wave is the weather in a region that becomes dangerously hot, and this is for several days or several weeks. Both of these form when a high pressure system remains in an area for an extended period of time. We have experienced drought in North Carolina, but right now we are not in a drought situation, and we are actually in a surplus of water for the year. Number 8, list 4 ways to protect yourself from sun exposure. You can wear protective clothing. We actually have clothing now that has UV protection in it. Wear sunglasses that provide UV ray protection. Use sunscreen with an SPF of at least 15. Stay indoors or in the shade during the hottest part of the day. And we do know that sun exposure can cause skin cancer, or it increases your chance of skin cancer. Main section or main idea: scientists use technology to predict severe weather and help communities prepare for natural disasters. So spacecraft that orbit the Earth and take images of the atmosphere, collect infrared data about temperature and moisture. Those would be satellites. Radar is technology that uses reflected sound waves to detect thunderstorms and predict tornadoes. And vehicles that fly into the eye of the hurricane and collect temperature, wind speed, and pressure data. That would be aircraft, and those people are amazing. I understand the center of the hurricane is calm, but they must fly through the hurricane to get to the center. Just briefly looking at the next one, type of severe weather, how to prepare and protect people from severe weather. Tornadoes, take shelter quickly, stay inside away from windows and walls. We do tornado drills at school. Hurricanes, board up windows or own homes and either evacuate the area or stock up on supplies. Blizzards, stay inside, dress warmly, and limit exposure to the cold. And heat waves, find a cool place and drink plenty of water. What is a levee and what kind of severe weather does it protect against? A levee is a raised ridge built next to a river to prevent flooding. And when, I don't know if you all have heard about Katrina and New Orleans, but when the hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana, the problem was that the levees could not hold all the water because they had not been properly maintained, per se. And the levees broke, and that's why there was so much flooding and devastation in New Orleans. So our key terms, we talked about blizzards, we talked about drought, flooding would be a temporarily large amount of water that flows onto normally dry land and can cause damage. Again, you should never drive over a flooded road because flooded roads can actually carry the car into deeper water. Hail is ice pellets that fall, usually with thunderstorms. We talked about a heat wave. We talked about a hurricane. We talked about ice storms. We talked about levees, radar reservoirs. We've talked about before. There are artificial lakes where water is collected and stored. Usually, townships or cities have reservoirs, and that would be where they get their water. We've talked about satellites. I am assuming that you understand that severe weather is any weather that can cause harm or damage to property. We've talked about thunderstorms, tornadoes. I want to make sure you understand the difference between a watch and a warning. A warning is when a notification that severe weather is occurring or is very likely to occur. And so when there is a warning, you actually need to do something like take shelter, take protection. A watch means that it might occur, okay? That the conditions are favorable for it to occur. So a watch means it might happen. A warning means it's very likely it's coming soon. So, again, I understand that you have been studying this content since the third grade, so that's why we just kind of breezed right through this. Tomorrow, I would like for you to do the try it, the review it, and the test it. And I hope you have a great day today. Get outside and enjoy some of the sunshine.